10 years ago, a young autistic boy, who was 18 years old, was attempted, a girl attempted to coerce him into having sex, basically. He refused, he said no, and she got upset and made up allegations against him that he tried to rape her. He has autism, so it was the other way around. She tried to rape him, but because of his refusal to have sex, basically, when she was groping him in public, he started yelling and screaming at her to stop. This offended the girl, and she filed attempted rape charges against him. He got arrested, and soon in the courtroom, just after he pled guilty, it was revealed that the girl was actually the sexually aggressive one and not him. But because he pleaded guilty, he admitted guilt to something he didn't do. The judge couldn't overturn that because, it wasn't a jury trial. So the judge had no choice but to hand down a sentence, the smallest one for the charge he was accused he was given the smallest possible sentence. He was given the smallest possible sentence for the charge that he was accused of, which was 10 years probation. So no jail time, but in addition to the 10 years probation, he has to register not only as a sex offender and for the rest of his life, but he has to be placed on the violent offender registry list. And this is going to be also for the rest of his life. All this because he abstained from sex. I mean, how ridiculous is that? You literally are being punished for doing the right thing. I mean, sometimes justice can screw you over like that. And people usually retaliate against this sort of stuff. Surprisingly, he didn't do any of this. Any of the retaliation. He actually forgave the girl. And, she, I believe, is going to soon admit that what really happened. Usually when people mature, they develop a sense of guilt. So she will probably soon realize what she's done, report the truth, and she probably will face some charges. But considering she was 16 when she committed the offense, she will probably not be given jail time either, probably probation. And he probably will be taken off the registry list. However, he hasn't gone back to trial yet. So, who knows what will happen? He could stay on the registry list for the rest of his life. He has been receiving death threats from people. However, his parents have been mailing letters back to the addresses that have been sending him the death threats. And once they found out the truth, they've actually apologized and actually offered support. Some of them. Some of the other people are, believe that he deserves it for blowing off a girl, for, saying, oh. And now he'll probably never get married. Everyone will think of him as a monster. And the only thing he did was the right thing. But not only now he has to be on a registry list, he can't even travel outside of the state that he lives in, which I believe is Pennsylvania. He has to stay within the confounds of his state. That means he can't go on vacations with his family. He can't travel to see his relatives who live outside of the state, because, you could travel outside the state, but you have to let authorities know constantly where you are. You have to wear an ankle monitor bracelet for the rest of your life, basically. And you basically have no freedom of movement. Usually these kind of punishments are reserved for real sex offenders who really rape and hurt young kids. But he's being punished for doing the right thing. That's what's so mind-boggling. I don't know his name. I know his last family's name. It's Kalmar. So the title of the story that the father published is, the title of it is Mislabeled a Sex Offender. Of course he's mislabeled. He's not a sex offender. He's actually the victim in this case. If I were his lawyer, I would fight tooth and nail to get him off the list, to have him acquitted. I mean, or to get him exonerated now. The reason he is on the list is because, as I said, he what do you call it? Whatchamacallit? He confessed, like he pled guilty. So he will probably get a lesser charge. His parents, the lawyer convinced him and his parents to plead guilty to a lesser charge instead of aggravated sexual assault. To, I believe, a lesser assault of indecent exposure or fondling. I believe I believe maybe stalking. I don't know, but he is placed on the violent offenders list. Maybe statutory rape. Maybe that's what it was. I believe maybe a lesser charge of statutory rape instead of aggravated sexual assault. Even in the courtroom, his lawyer was saying that she was grooming him for the sexual encounter, but the lawyer didn't reveal that he had autism. Had he revealed that he had autism, but the parents did testify that he had autism and show the proof. So maybe that's why the judge went easy on him and, gave him the minimum possible sentence. Oh man, this is just a tragedy. I mean, I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't even know his last name. I mean, I don't even know his first name to begin with. I mean, I could help him. I could start a petition in his name. I could do so much for him. If I only knew, his first and last name, I could write letters to him. I can help him. Heck, I could start a movement for him. This is not right at all. Well, all I know is his last name, which is Kelmar, so I don't know if that's going to help. Well, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.